villains! Today I'm painting this plain black shirt with an overgrown skull design. I planned this design a while ago. Here is a digital image I created when I first had this idea. I have a full plan, so I'm going to dive right into this project. As always when I paint clothing, I started with a pencil sketch directly on the fabric. Unfortunately, while I did film this progress, you cannot see the sketch at all on screen, so I removed it from the final video. I've drawn a lot of skulls, so I didn't use a reference, especially since this skull is rather stylized and not anatomically accurate. The design involves an off-white skull nestled in moss and grass. A sprout of Queen Anne's lace grows through one of the eye holes, and there are yellow-petaled flowers around the base of the skull. I really like this design, I think it looks super cool, and I never want to try and paint it again. The problem is, when I use paint on t-shirts, layering different colours on top of each other tends to dry weird. Usually the parts where design elements overlap end up discoloured and differently textured. Therefore, I try to keep the entire design on one layer, and every detail is outlined and painted only with one colour of paint. This means when I have to paint a skull that has grass growing over it, I have to paint around where each blade of grass will eventually go. This takes even longer when I'm using white on black fabric, because I needed 3 layers of paint to even try making an opaque colour. The white bone of this painting took the longest of any step. This painting is brought to you by The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers audiobook, read by Andy Serkis. Not sponsored, just what I was listening to the entire time I worked. When I finally finished the white layer, I finished the skull itself quickly with some black paint in the eyes and nose holes. This doesn't really show up on camera, but it keeps the texture of the design the same everywhere. Finally, I got to start on the overgrowth section of this life and death design. This was the fun part of the design, in my opinion. There are a few reasons behind this project and the design. I now have several black shirts with more interesting styles than this basic t-shirt. I no longer need this t-shirt as a closet basic, not that I wear many basics anyway, and decided to use this opportunity to finally use this design I made months ago. As for the design itself, you may have noticed that I'm fascinated by skulls and bones, moss and overgrowth. My last filmed painting project was also a skull, this one with mushrooms and ferns. My first ever clothing painting project was also an overgrown skull, this one a goat's skull. You can see more of that design in my video, I've been painting clothing. I think I like this design because of the themes of life and death, and the idea that death is just part of life and allows more life to flourish. It might also be because skulls are cool and plants are cool and nothing deeper than that. I like moss and plants and dead things, and that's all I really need to make myself clothing that reflects that. Anyway, back to my painting progress. I've been working hard in the background while I talk. I used 2 shades of green, a dark green and an olive one, and just scribbled on the fabric with my brush in patches of both colours to make the foliage mottled. I then filled in the grass outlines I left from the skull, alternating between the same 2 shades of green. I used a lighter and a darker green for the stems of the 2 species of flowers. I painted the yellow flower petals. By the way, when painting on black, don't use yellow and expect it to show up. Yellow paint, in my experience, has terrible opacity, and even several layers of the stuff still showed black through it. I finished the design with white spots to represent the Queen Anne's lace flower clusters. The flowers in this image don't have a particular meaning. I think Queen Anne's lace looks really cool, and the yellow flowers are a pop of bright colour without a specified species behind the design. After letting the shirt dry for 24 hours, I ironed the design to finalize it, then it was ready to wear. And here it is! I really like the design, and I can style it in so many ways. It goes with a lot of my wardrobe, which is great. It's also a comfortable and cool design. I hope you like it as much as I do. Before you go, this video has a plot twist. If you really like this design, good news! I was painting 5 more shirts at the same time behind the scenes. These shirts come in several sizes, are all thrifted and upcycled, and are now available on my Etsy store, linked in the description. Every purchase really helps support me. Thank you all for the support you're able to give. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye!